Hello, and welcome to another episode of What You're Missing. Doomsday is fast approaching, and there's a lot of stuff you should know before jumping into it. There's at least 27 characters set to return, and even more expected to appear. Avengers Doomsday is rumored to be a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame, and this series is designed to fill you in on what everyone has been up to. This is Doomsday Dissection. Thor. Thor is from Asgard, a plane within the 9 realms, of which Midgard, better known as Earth, is one of the realms. He is the god of thunder and wields Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? What's Mjolnir?
A powerful enchanted hammer that can only be lifted by whoever the hammer deems worthy. It also gives power to whoever possesses it. Thor's brother, Loki, was the god of mischief and first villain to the Avengers, of which Thor was a member. He wielded a scepter that contained the Mind Stone, one of 6 Infinity Stones, which he used to gain access to the Tesseract, a cube that contained the Space Stone, another Infinity Stone. Loki died a few times, but has finally found glorious purpose at the Citadel at the end of time, where he overlooks all the timelines of all the multiverses. But Loki's story leading into Doomsday is its own dissection. The two of them find out they have a sister, Hela, who was imprisoned in Hell by their father, Odin. She was freed after Odin's death and broke
Mjolnir?
single-handedly. In order to defeat her, they had to unleash a fire demon named Searcher that would not only destroy Hela, but the plane of Asgard as well. Thor moves all of the Asgardians to Earth, where they now reside in Norway, within a small town they named New Asgard. They now have a new king in Valkyrie, named after a group of female warriors that she once served for before they were all massacred. After Thanos killed his brother, he needed a new weapon to help bring down the Mad Titan, so he crafted Stormbreaker, an axe made from a very durable metal, and the arm of Groot.
I am Groot!
I am Steve Rogers.
It has the ability to summon the Bifrost, which allows anyone using it to instantly travel anywhere within the 9 realms, which is exactly what Thor did to reach Earth. Thanos was too powerful. Having collected all of the Infinity Stones, he snapped half of the universe's population into dust. They find out Thanos destroyed the stones to make sure his work couldn't be undone, and he was beheaded by Thor. Now depressed after losing the biggest battle of his life, Thor relocated to New Asgard, where he spent his time playing video games and drinking with his friends, Meek and Korg. 5 years after the snap, he was convinced to rejoin the Avengers on a time heist, where they were going to travel back in time and steal the Infinity Stones from different locations across the universe so they could undo the snap. This works, and they were able to bring everybody that was dusted back all across the universe. In doing so, they alert an alternate universe Thanos, who tries to stop them, but in one of the most heroic scenes of all time, Tony Stark uses the Infinity Stones to snap Thanos and his army out of existence, killing himself in the process. Thor decides to join the Guardians of the Galaxy to respond to numerous distress calls from across the universe. He would leave the team after 2 years when he finds a distress call from an old friend and ally, Sif, who was calling out for Thor. She lost her arm in battle and warned Thor of a man who vowed to kill all the gods. He takes her to New Asgard where she can recover, when shadow monsters swarm the town. Thor starts fighting them off when he sees
Mjolnir?
flying around helping the Asgardians. He's surprised to see his ex, Jane Foster, fighting alongside him as Mighty Thor. Jane became terminally ill with stage 4 cancer, and she traveled back to New Asgard knowing that's where the pieces of
Mjolnir?
stayed laying from when it was destroyed. The pieces reassembled, and she was worthy enough to wield the hammer and give her the powers of Thor. However, in doing so, it left her body physically unable to continue fighting the cancer. The thing that was giving her strength and power was also the thing that was killing her. Thor then sees a lone figure standing on the outskirts of the battle. It's Gorr the God Butcher. He vows to kill the gods because of his former god, Rapu, bringer of light. Gorr was a disciple of his and was the only one left, having just lost his daughter to starvation. Their planet was decaying, but the god, Rapu, did not care. He was celebrating with a feast for having killed the owner of All Black, the Necrosword, a weapon forged at the dawn of time and had the power to slay gods, but also corrupt whoever wields it. Gorr realizes that the gods do not care for their disciples, and that they suffer in the name of their god for no reason. He takes the Necrosword and slays Rapu, vowing revenge on all gods, which leads him to Thor. He realizes that he's overpowered in New Asgard, so he has his shadow monsters abduct the children of the town and brings them to the Shadow Realm, where there's an absence of color and Gorr would be at his strongest. Valkyrie, Jane Foster, Korg, and Thor decide they need to warn the other gods of Gorr and travel to Omnipotent City, a floating city that acts like a temple to a parliament of gods overseen by Zeus.
Like the Zeus. Zeus.
I'm not sure if he has a second name.
They try to convince Zeus that Gorr is a threat, but Zeus says that he wouldn't be able to reach Eternity's realm as he didn't have the key. Thor calls the gods cowards, and then he and his allies will act alone in stopping Gorr. But Zeus shackles Thor as he doesn't want to risk Gorr using them to discover Omnipotent City. Thor and his allies defeat the guards, and Zeus throws his lightning bolt through Korg, causing his body to crumble into pieces, though he survives.
Turns out the only part of a Cronin that's alive is his mouth.
Zeus throws his thunderbolt at Thor, but he catches it. He charges it with his lightning powers and sends it right back to Zeus, where it impales him through the chest, causing him to fall from his podium and onto the floor below. With the thunderbolt now in Valkyrie's hands, the team escape the city and head off to the Shadow Realm to confront Gorr. When they get there, they realize that it was a trap. Gorr steals Stormbreaker with the intention of using its power of the Bifrost to travel to the Eternity, a cosmic entity that is the embodiment of the universe. It can grant wishes to whoever first reaches it, and Gorr was going to wish for the extinction of all the gods. While in the process of opening the gates to Eternity, Thor and the kidnapped children all work together to take down Gorr and his shadow monsters. When it looks like it's too much for them to handle, we see Jane show up, who uses the last bit of power she has left to destroy the Necrosword. Thor uses Stormbreaker to return the children home, giving Gorr time to enter the gates to Eternity. Thor pleads that it's not vengeance that he's after, but love. He understands this to be true, and ultimately wishes to bring his daughter back to life. Both Jane and Gorr die, and Thor looks after Gorr's daughter, which he names Love.
One eternity later.
We catch up with Love and Thor, where he's making her breakfast. She tells him that she wants to wear her slippers rather than her boots, and when he disagrees, she shows off some of her powers that she received, being born from Eternity. They head outside to help defend an alien race from an invading army. Thor is wielding
Mjolnir?
again, and Love is now wielding Stormbreaker. Now, in one of the teaser trailers for Doomsday, we see Thor praying to his father. He talks about how he's been looking after Love and wants to return home to her. He asks for strength for one more battle, and doesn't want her to know about war. He's not wielding
Mjolnir?
this time around, but Stormbreaker. He could just be using it this time for the Bifrost, but he typically prefers using his hammer. Since it was last seen in the hands of Love, and now there's this sad, mournful music playing during his prayer for strength.
A child A life untouched by the storm.
It's not looking too good for Love. So what do you think happened with Love? What are you expecting from Avengers Doomsday? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That's everything that Thor has been up to leading up to Doomsday. That is what you're missing, Doomsday Dissection.